My name is Stephen Parriott. I'm a change architect, which basically means I help organizations design the organization, and more importantly, the culture. We heard the first speaker this morning saying that culture is very important, and what I've been working on for a number of years is that the organizational design and the measurement system is equally as important as the culture. They both go together. And in fact, the shape of the organization drives the culture as well. So there's a lot of advantage to be gained for designing organizations for agile, or I like to call them adaptive people. In this presentation, I'm going to be taking a humorous look at some of the problems organizations have when they start going agile right across the business and then want the business to be agile to the outside world. And there are some very common mistakes in that transition from agile as teams to agile to business. And I want to use the metaphor of a chameleon to give us some ideas for those managers who really want to drive this. And there are some tips in here if you want to take agile up to the business level and differentiate in the marketplace. I'll also talk a little bit about the dynamics of an adaptive business to give you an idea, a very quick idea. And I'm going to talk about purpose. Purpose is very, very important, and I'm going to talk about a purpose that was put together by a very large organization that was going lean, agile, Kanban. It had a whole mix of things in there, and how they started to get everybody on purpose. One of the things in the report, it's saying most people are new to agile, the vast majority, and they're new to taking it to the business level. So it's still very early days. I've been doing it for a number of years, so I've got something to offer in terms of tips. But we can see it's very, very short, less than 3 years, which is really, really short in terms of business transformation times. Everybody agrees that there are benefits. When I say everybody, the majority of people who express the preference. We get market success because of our responsiveness to customers, but that's only a tip of the iceberg of the level of responsiveness that you can get, and I want to talk about that. All of these benefits, they go all the way down, and speed to market is still low. And I want to say, well, there are reasons why your speed to market is not there, and I'll talk about that shortly. These are the challenges. You'll often see the challenges posted. We saw them this morning, and it's interesting the order in which these happen. Because everybody's saying it's a leadership issue, it's an inappropriate organizational design, and if you look at mindset and culture change, it's way down on the list. And I want to say that actually the mindset and the culture change need to be top. And we heard that this morning. Okay, so we'll come back to those right at the end. So let me just take you out of that and take a humorous look at what organizations need to be thinking about when they start going to take agile up to the business level. Okay, chameleons have been around 100 million years, so they know a thing or two about adaptation over time. There are hundreds of different types out there, mostly in Madagascar, Africa, and Europe, and Asia. So the diversity is massive, but they all share very similar characteristics, and those characteristics I want to point out right now. Okay, the first one I want to point out right now is about continuous scanning. Now, the one thing that you'd notice about a chameleon, if you watch one long enough, is the eyes are independent. And they put together a view almost 360 degrees around them. But if you notice them, even though they're looking in different directions, what they do is they'll move one eye first, and then the other eye, then they'll wait, then they'll move one or the other. And that is because they are scanning and they're integrating. What the scanning is doing is saying, right, I'm looking for something that's different out there. Is there an anomaly? Is that a friend? Or is that food? Or is that a sexy lover? Okay, and that's what they're looking for. But their brain has to process that. So this is a low-level scanning. So continuous scanning looking for threats and opportunities is what you need to be doing as a business. But very often what I find is the business is often looking internally, particularly at times of transformation, and they get caught out by the business. As soon as they've seen something, they focus. They're on you. Nothing else exists. It's on you all the time. Because I am gauging now, I've got stereoscopic vision, because I am working out the distance between you, and I'm still working out whether you're a threat or an opportunity or a mate. Okay, and I've got to make that calculation pretty quick, because there could be some, misunderstanding, shall we say. So once you have that focus and you've determined, yes, that's the opportunity, I need to go for that. Now think about the business. There's an opportunity you want to go for. And actually you're thinking, well, let's go for it. Let's get the minimum viable product out and rush towards this. But the word of caution. What you need to do when there are new opportunities and you're going through a transformation is you need to keep a balance. And what is that balance? The tail here is a very heavy tail, and it helps the chameleon keep balance in very precarious branches on the tree. And by keeping the balance, what I'm saying is the balance about today's job. You've got to continue to do today's work while you're trying to figure out how to do tomorrow's. If you put all your effort into thinking about what you're going to be doing tomorrow, you will lose sight of the day-to-day work. And I see so many organizations who get caught up about business tomorrow and the excitement of everything that they might be producing, that they stop doing the stuff that keeps the business running. In other words, they've got the balance completely wrong and they fall out of the tree. So, having identified in this case something good to eat, you now see that this chameleon is doing something else. It's not just balance, it needs stability. So you need to stabilize yourself. So if you are going to go for that opportunity out there, you need to make sure the business is stable, that if you put an effort in, it's not going to fall down behind you. And you can see this chameleon is using its tail, its hands to get stability. And ironically, this is what allows agility from a business perspective. It gives you that firm base to go out and execute fast with a minimal viable product because you know you're firm. And at this point, when they go into market with new stuff they want to test, and everybody's involved in that, they often fall out of the tree because they're unstable. So these are all messages for the business leaders. The skin. There's a myth that you can put a chameleon in front of, say, a red board and it'll go red. Well, it sort of does go red, but it's not because of camouflage. Okay, the females are very well camouflaged, but the males are the ones that change all these colors. Because what is happening is the male uses these to send clear signals. The reason it goes red is because it's a brighter color and it's a response to threats. It's a territorial marker. Stay away. All right? And then if it's a mate, it says, look, I'm really good to mate with, and it creates its own patterning that the female will recognize. Okay, so as a business, you have to be sending clear signals, not only to your business inside about what you're doing, but clear signals outside as well. Okay, because this is how disruption happens. You're threatening other people, so you need to be clear what's happening. Okay. And the other thing that chameleons use, both male and female use the coloring for, is to control heat. And it allows different absorption of the sun's radiation, obviously. And so this myth about it blending into the background, for the males at least, is absolutely untrue. But it gives us some messages about what we need to think about when we're starting to scale up. that's not the word I wanted to use, where we wanted to take agility to the business level. Okay, I got a very short video that somebody who saw this presentation sent me. This is a chameleon. It's on a barbed wire fence, and it had lost its tail. And it saw some prey up above, and it knows it's out of distance. And it goes through a whole set of strategies to make sure it is stable before it strikes.